May 4th, readings. Justin Martyr. Dialogue with Trypho, chapters 93-94. Righteousness, the cross, and the mystery of salvation. The same kind of righteousness is bestowed on all. God has always made known to all nations what is right and just. Everyone knows that adultery, fornication, and murder are evil, even though many still commit these sins. Only those corrupted by evil spirits, wicked customs, and sinful traditions lose sight of these truths, having drowned their natural sense of right and wrong. Even among the wicked, you can see the contradiction. They hate being wronged by others, even though they do evil themselves. Their own consciences accuse them. Because of this, Jesus Christ rightly summed up the whole law and righteousness in 2 commandments. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your strength, and your neighbor as yourself. Matthew 22:37-39. The man who loves God fully will not worship idols or false gods, and the one who loves his neighbor will seek for him the same good he seeks for himself, for no man wishes evil on himself. Therefore, Scripture is right to say that all righteousness is divided into these 2 branches, love of God and love of neighbor. Whoever fulfills these is truly righteous. But you, Justin says to Trypho, have not shown love for God, the prophets, or even yourselves. You murdered the righteous, including the Christ himself, and to this day you curse those who testify that he is the Christ. You imagine that his crucifixion means he was cursed by God, failing to understand the Scriptures. And because of this, when confronted with Christians who stand firm in faith, you are left without arguments. In what sense he who hangs on a tree is cursed now? Consider this mystery. Was it not God who commanded through Moses that no graven image should be made? And yet God himself instructed Moses to raise up a bronze serpent in the wilderness, so that all who were bitten might look on it and be healed. God is not unrighteous because of this. Rather, it was a foreshadowing, a type of Christ. Just as the serpent was lifted up to save the people, so Christ would be lifted up on the cross to destroy the serpent's power, and to save all who believe in him from sin, idolatry, and death. Unless one understands this, the story of the bronze serpent would seem a contradiction, but when viewed through Christ, it becomes clear. At this point, one of the Jews who had returned on the 2nd day confessed, "You have spoken truly. We cannot give a reason. I have often asked our teachers about this, and none could explain it." Justin answered, "Just as God commanded the making of the bronze serpent without injustice, so also Christ was crucified without curse. Though the law says, 'Cursed is he who hangs on a tree,' Christ himself was not cursed. Rather, by his cross, he bore the curse for others and brought salvation to those bitten by the serpent of sin." Augustine of Hippo. The Confessions, Book 9, Chapter 8, Section 18. God uses even an enemy's taunt to heal hidden sin. Augustine remembers that when his mother was a young maiden, she began, almost playfully, to taste wine whenever she was sent to the cellar to draw it. At first it was only the barest touch to her lips, not from any craving, but from the exuberance of youthful spirit. Yet little by little, just as Scripture warns that he who despises small things shall fall by little and little, the habit grew, and she found herself eagerly drinking nearly a full small cup. Her parents and guardians were unaware of this budding fault, but God, ever present even when earthly caretakers are not, watched over her and planned her healing. The power of humiliation in God's hidden hand. God's medicine came through a bitter insult. One day a maidservant, angry with her young mistress, privately taunted her as a wine-bibber. Stung by the accusation, Augustine's mother immediately recognized her hidden fault, was ashamed, and turned from it completely. Augustine reflects that while friends often corrupt by flattery, enemies sometimes heal by insult. Yet it is not their malice that saves, but God's providence working through them. The maid meant only to wound, but God used her words like a surgeon's knife to cut away the disease. Thus, even the storms of human anger are turned by God's hidden governance to bring about salvation and reform. Thomas Aquinas, Summa Theologica, Part 1, Question 63, Article 7. Whether the highest angel among those who sinned was the highest of all? Objection. It seems that the highest among the angels who sinned was not the highest of all, for sin arises more easily in lower natures, which are weaker, but the highest angels are the strongest and closest to God. Therefore, it seems unlikely that the highest angel would fall. Responsio: it must be said that the highest of the fallen angels was indeed the highest among all creatures before he sinned. For the closer a creature is to God, the more beautiful, powerful, and excellent it is by nature. However, greatness in nature does not exclude the possibility of sin. On the contrary, because of the sublimity of his nature, the highest angel might have trusted more in his own excellence rather than relying on God. In this way, his very greatness became an occasion for pride. Thus, the higher he was, the greater the fall when he turned away from God. This is in keeping with the scripture that says, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?" Isaiah 14:12. Lucifer, whose name means light-bearer, signifies that he was once among the highest created beings before he fell through pride. Augustine and Aquinas teaches that the greatest of the fallen angels, the devil, was originally the highest of all created beings. His downfall shows that even the greatest creature, if he exalts himself apart from God, can fall into ruin. His pride was not despite his greatness, but because of it.